What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to a brand new video. This is Web Dev Journey, and today we're going to be finishing off this series by creating an API. Now, we're going to be creating an API because I actually want to do this posting form thing from the client side. It's kind of annoying when you actually have a form and then let me go over here. When you have a form like this, and when you try to submit it, it refreshes the page. First of all, that's annoying. And the second thing that's annoying is all of these values get destroyed, right? I mean, we could save it in a session and repopulate that, but that's just super annoying. We don't want to do that. So what we're going to be doing is just doing this form, posting this form from the client side using jQuery, okay? So we're going to be creating an API for that. And this is just, honestly, we're done. You could just leave it like this if you wanted to, but I'm just going to be adding these little things so that way it could be a little bit better, you know? So let's just start doing it. First of all, we're going to simplify this array because this thing is huge. We're going to simplify this, copy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this validations or validation array, ARR. Just like so, and that's it. And what we're going to do right here is go right here on top, create, no, not right here, sorry. And we're going to just make a const, and we're going to call it obviously validation array. And we're going to set that equal to that big array that we just got. And that's it. So now it's a little bit cleaner, and it will still work. As you can see, it's still working. Now let's make that API. So what we're going to do down here is going to make another route. So router dot post is going to be a post router, and we're going to do /API. Oops. We're going to call it API, so that way when we hit it, we have to hit /feedback/API, right? And over here, we're going to use the exact same validations. So validation array, damn it, array, and we're going to make it async with the rec, res, and next. So this is going to be somewhat similar to up here, what we've done up here, but the thing is, since we're using jQuery to send the data, we're going to be sending it as JSON, so we do need to send data back as JSON. All right, so that's the only difference. So, oh, by the way, I didn't do this on purpose on the last video. I wanted you to actually tell me that I did something wrong. I think no one caught it, but over here you should have done a try catch block. So let's do that right now. Above try, and then catch with the error. Nope, with the error. And we're going to just return next error. Copy that, paste right there. Over here, what we should have done is grabbed all this. Come on, a little bit up, right there. Cut that out and paste it right there. Just in case something went wrong, then something went wrong right now. And it's saying I'm 71. Okay, it's for our try catch right here. So catch. That's what went wrong. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted you guys to actually tell me that I noticed and try to do this on yourself, but I don't think no one cached it, so I'm just letting you know that you're supposed to do a try catch block just in case something went wrong. So catch with the error. We're going to return the error, and that's our starting point right here. If I do save now, everything should be working. Yep. All right. Now in here is going to be exactly the same thing. We're going to get const with errors. We're going to set that equal to validation result and passing in the rec object. And we're also going to be checking if the errors dot is not empty, so is empty. Then what we want to do is return. Like I said, we do need to send it back as JSON, and there is a thing to do that. So res.json, JSON, and we're going to return errors as errors array. We're going to just make an array out of that. All right. So we're just returning errors, all right, as an object. That's it, right? But as an error. I mean, as in an array, but we're returning a JSON. Sorry about that. We're returning a JSON and with the errors attached to it if there are errors. Now, if there isn't any errors, what we need to do is basically the same thing we did up here. So I'm just copy this. Copying that. And then after that, const feed. Oops, I did that. Feedback. We're going to set that equal to await. Feedback services. Now, like I said, this is all because get list and then return. Don't worry, I will explain it once I'm done. We're going to return a JSON back and we're going to return the feedback. Feedback. All right, so let me just explain what we're doing right now, okay? And up here, we didn't really do that. We just added an entry. But anyways, I'm getting my house ahead of myself. So what we're doing right here is pretty much the same thing what we did up here. We're just literally grabbing all the errors if there are any errors for the validation errors. Now, if there is errors, we're going to return a JSON a JSON with the errors. Okay. Now, if there isn't any errors, what we're going to do is literally add the entry to our database. After that, this is the different part. This is we did this a bit different. Over here, we didn't really called feedback service.getList. We didn't say that over here. The reason why we're doing that right here is because once we add the entry, what we want to do is grab all the feedback that's in our database, including this one because we just added it, and we're going to return all that feedback back to the client side, so that way the client side could deal with it however it wants to deal with. Now, obviously, you'll figure it out once we start doing it with jQuery. So, but this just returns all the feedback to the client side. Now, all the client side has that array, and we could actually check this API by using Postman. If you have Postman or have used it, let's just check it really quick. All right, so let me get rid of these. Nope, don't save and don't save. So what we want to do is make a post, and we want to go to http //localhost 4000/feedback/API. And we do need to make the body, we do need to send some data, and we're going to send it raw right here. And object form, we're going to have a name, and we're going to send, let me see, WDJ, and then we're going to have an email, and we're going to just say wdj@gmail.com. And then we're going to also have a title. Some title. And then we're also going to have the message. This is message from Postman, and then finishing that off. And what we need to do is make this a JSON because we're going to be sending it as a JSON. Now, okay, let's just send it and see what we get back. So our response is we literally got errors, okay? And this is because I already know the reason why. I just wanted you to know about this. This is because we need to have a parser for JSON. We have a parser for forms that will deal with that for us, and that's in our server. And this is where we set it. Where did we set it? Right here. Express.url encoded extended true. This is for our forms. Now we need to have a parser for JSON data that's coming back, and we could actually do app.use express.json. Now, obviously, if we had body parser, it would be body parser.json. all I wanted was for you to understand this. This is the reason why you have these two in Express. If you didn't know why you had these or like what these were for, now you know. One's for JSON, literally JSON coming back to us as, or one is for JSON coming back to us from the client side to the server side, and one's for form data coming back to us. Okay, just letting you know. Now if you go to Postman and send it one more time, now we get our feedback back. And as you can see, we actually added a feedback, and this is a message from Postman. This is a feedback that we actually got back. We actually added an entry. That means that this is working. This is great. It's actually working. So now let's go back to our front end side and talk a little bit about how this is going to work. But I do want to clear out some stuff over here. Now, as you can see, we do have an error, and this is because we have this pixel grid. It's complaining because we don't have images in this page, in this feedback page. We only have images in the home and the speakers. So we're gonna fix that right now. Let's go to our scripts. So views, partials, right there are scripts. These are our scripts, and here's a script for pixel grid. What I'm gonna say here is question mark if, or let me actually do this first of all. All right, so if locals dot feedback. Okay, if you don't know what locals are, when I'm saying locals dot feedback, like we've done it in our, let me see, feedbacks right here, locals dot errors. Basically, we're getting this because we're sending it as a variable to our templates. Let me go to routes, our index, or let me go to feedback. As you can see, we're actually sending errors as a variable in our templates, and this is actually attached to locals as well. So over here, where is it at? Right here, we could say locals dot feedbacks dot errors dot success message, and if we go to our index, we could say dot artworks dot top speakers. And since this is specifically for artworks, I don't know why I said feedback right here. I was getting ahead of myself. We should say if locals dot artworks, then we want to add this script inside of there. Oops. Just like so. So if there is artworks or a variable called artworks inside of locals, and you already know how we get that variable, then we want to add the script. So if you control save this now let's take a look at it, refresh the page, you're going to see that we don't get that error no more. But if you go to home, let's go to home right now. Oh, something went wrong. Nothing went wrong. It's just taking a while. Oh, my internet just crashed. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna have to come back in a bit. Let me fix my internet real quick. As you can see, I can't even get this because Bootstrap and jQuery, because this is all scripts that we're actually using. But let me actually come back when I solve that issue of the internet. All right, it's back. I hope it doesn't go down again. So anyways, as you refresh the page, you see that we don't get that error no more. We see that if we go to home page, and we still have our pixel grid showing right there. We go to speakers, we have that right there. If we go to an individual speaker, we still have those right there. Now for our feedback, let's go back over here. I do have a JavaScript or client-side JavaScript that will handle those requests, when we use jQuery to actually send out our post. I do have that right here. If you go to static inside of JS, we do have that feedback.js. And this is just jQuery to submit that form and to actually update that form list with the newest form that we're getting back. So we do need to add this. So what I'm going to do is just copy this. And we're going to say if locals dot, I forgot what I called it. Let me go to feedbacks. Feedbacks right here. So if locals dot feedbacks, we're going to load the feedback page or feedback.js. So if you control save this now, let's go to our thing and let's go to the network tab so that way we can see what's going on. Okay, So refresh the page, and you can see that we're getting the feedback.js. That's really great. That's really, really good. Now, really quick, now that we have that, I do want to go back to the code and just tell you what's going on over here. And don't worry about this first part. That's just, we're using it down here. Now, this is where it starts when we actually submit the form, okay? So you might be wondering, well, we already have a post for server side. Yeah, you're right, but we're actually preventing that right here. We're actually preventing the form to actually go to /feedback route, and we want it to go to the feedback-API. So we're preventing default, and then we just go to, we're going to make a post request right there, going to our feedback/API route. Oops. And then we're going to grab, sorry about that. We're going to grab the name from the feedback form name value. We're just going to grab all this in JSON format. We're making an object, and we're going to just send it to the backend. Now we call the callback, which is the update feedback, which is up here. So once we get the stuff back, remember in our routes, go back to routes. In our routes, once we get everything down, we're actually going to send the feedback back to them. Okay. So once we do that, we're gonna have that feedback is now inside data. Now over here, we're saying that, hey, if everything went well, meaning that there are no errors and there's actually a feedback object inside data, which we did send that, right? We're going to do a trigger reset, meaning that we're going to start from scratch, meaning that form is not going to have anything inside those forms. Those input boxes is going to be null. Everything's going to be from scratch. We're going to just reset it. And basically we're doing exactly the same thing what we did with, well, in our index or EJS, our feedback EJS, we're just creating a new HTML, looping through all those items that we got from our feedback. And then after all that is done, we're going to just render the feedback item. And then after that, we're going to just set the status or render out the status as well. Now, if there were errors, then what we're going to be doing is just looping through those errors and then rendering it onto the screen. It's pretty much straightforward, guys, if you know jQuery and if you could read it. Honestly, if you don't even know jQuery, you could just read this and still understand what's going on. So that's basically the JS or the feedback.js we already did, or I did for you guys. Don't have to worry about it. You could just read through this and figure it out yourselves. Not too hard. But there is one thing we do need to do inside the feedback EJS, and it's to add this feedback status. All this stuff is going to be inside of the feedback status, as you can see right there. So honestly, all we need to do is go back to go to the, where is it at, feedback.ejs, and just wrap all this inside of a div with the class feedback status. That's it. No, this is not going to ruin the server side stuff. We'll get into that in a bit. Feedback dash status. Just copy this, indent all this, paste that, and there you go. Now it should be working just fine. So let's try it out now. Let's just go back to the page and let's try this out. Let's just refresh and let's try this out. So we're gonna enter a name, whatever, our email at Gmail, some title, so home and kitchen, and a message. This is, or whatever, this is message, whatever. Let's submit it, and let's actually go to XHR and then submit it. So that way we can see what's going on. So if we go to the API, go to preview, we're gonna see all the feedback that we actually got back. Right there. And there it is. This is our feedback, and you can see that we have that home and kitchen. But there is a problem, and this is on my part. We got undefined, and that's because in our route, let's go back to our route. Where is our routes? We never returned a success message back. So inside this res.json, we also want to return a success message, and we're gonna call it message because we are using that over here. Let me see right here, success message. Copy this, paste it. And we're going to just simply say, well, exactly the same thing we did over here. Copy, paste, and save. All right. Let's go back over here. Let's try it one more time. We could actually do this since this is the client side. We could actually just go ahead and redo this again. So SDF, and then let me do wdj@gmail.com. So that way, and I'm gonna do wdj right here. wdj title, wdj message. All right, we're gonna submit this, and there you go. Thank you for your feedback, and we actually have it right here as well. And we can see that if we go to the second one, preview, we actually grab that right here, wdj message. Pretty awesome, right? And that's basically it for this video, guys. For this series anyways. This is just a series, like I said, for a simple website. Now I am going to create a series that's going to add on to this, and this is going to be for Advanced Express. There we're going to be doing MongoDB, Mongoose, authenticating and authorizing users, adding cookies and sessions, login with Passport, handling file uploads, storing. It's going to be a lot of stuff, storing and serving images. It's going to be a lot that we're going to be doing, and that's for Advanced Express. So that's going to be the next series, guys, and I do hope that you actually enjoyed this series. Oh, by the way, so the reason why we did this API, first of all, it's an API, it's for RESTful routes, and this is just for your client, so that way your client could hit that API. And if this doesn't work, if they don't have JavaScript enabled, well, they're still going to hit this route for our post, since our form does say go to this. So we're not preventing that no more, since the JavaScript on their browser is not enabled, let's say. So they're going to go to this. So we're still going to have all of this stuff right there, and they're still going to get exactly what they need. But the thing is, the page is going to refresh. That's it. But anyways, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something throughout the whole series, and I hope you actually hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below on what you thought about the series on this series. I can't wait to do the other series on the Advanced Express. That's what most people are mostly looking forward to, to actually doing a lot of that advanced kind of stuff. So we're going to be doing that right there. So stay tuned for that series, guys. Please subscribe, hit that bell notification, so that way you can see when I do that next series. Thank you, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.